Hi, this is VBLOG number 7, and this VBLOG is yet again another pleasant surprise. Actually, it's an amazing surprise because I just got my second letter. It's just unexpected so soon. It's definitely a blessing. And this time, my letter sender has given me permission to disclose his identity. So my second letter sender is none other than Mr. Nathan Church. Hi Nathan, I know you've been hearing this quite a bit this past few days, but thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for entertaining my quadruple trillion billion questions this past few days. And most importantly, thank you for supporting I Am the Issue at such an early stage. You truly have a good heart. So Nathan is from Canada. He does not understand Tagalog, and for this reason, I'm going to have to stick to English, but only for this episode. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the first letter. I'm going to share Nathan's story. And that I don't know if I can read the whole letter because I don't think I have that much time. And then we'll just discuss what Nathan had shared. Okay, so Nathan is 57 years old. He suffered from depression since he was 23, but only been diagnosed 5 years ago. So it's 34 years of undiagnosed depression. And just like the rest, he suffered in silence. He resorted to the blame game. He hated his job, he hated where he lived, he hated his wife, his car, and he hated the fact that nobody cares. Nathan drank heavily from 1978 till 1992. He crashed and ended up on the streets. And then he quit alcohol and drugs eventually, and yet everything remained the same. Nothing's changed. He was still depressed. Somehow he managed to get by till 1 year he reached his breaking point. He was just done with it. He wanted to die. This is when Nathan got help. So he was on medication and he was in the hospital, and eventually he got better spring that year. That's when it was apparent that he could be living with seasonal affective disorder. His doctor agrees, but he still hasn't been truly diagnosed. The pervasive fear of what people may say and think would always take over him. And so he struggles with taking meds and self-reflection. But this past 2 years, his depression has not gone away. So it's been constant. And Nathan thinks that maybe, he might actually have bipolar. But he just cannot get the courage to ask the doctor. And because along with the depression, the stigma attached to it and low self-esteem, he doesn't feel that it's important to ask. And he said, he wrote something that really, brought tears to my eye. He said, "The stigma and the fear is sometimes overwhelming. It is sometimes easier to suffer in silence." There is a lot more in Nathan's stories, more job losses, broken relationship, and a suicide attempt in 1981, which actually cost him his military career. And at that time, he was under the care of a psychiatrist. He was charged, imprisoned, and released with no treatment. Okay, so what is seasonal affective disorder, or as some would call it, S.A.D? It's a kind of depression that occurs at certain time of the year, usually in the wintertime. It's a mood disorder associated with depression and related to seasonal variation of light. The diagnosis can be made after 3 consecutive months of depression, anxiety, and mood changes, followed by complete remission in the spring and summer. Again, just like what I did before, I'm gonna do my next vlog uh, about seasonal affective disorder. Nathan, I might need your assistance on that. So basically, the stigma plays a big part. The stigma that surrounds disorders. It's such a hindrance from both ends. It's a hindrance to the person living with a disorder because he or she refuses to get help, and then hindrance to those who do not suffer because they don't care to know about it.